Interestingly, for me at least, I was a phone freaker when I was very young, when I was 12, 13 years old, and so deeply interested in electronics and technology. By virtue of my involvement with that kind of shady stuff, I was moved into the law. And so I like to say that I became a lawyer to keep from going to jail. And as a consequence of that, I spent a long time away from technology and then came back to it with the advent of the earliest personal computers, the old Tandy machines and so forth. Became deeply involved in computers, building them myself, programming them and what have you. And that naturally led to trying to share the wonder of personal computing, the efficiencies, the growth of the first bulletin boards going back a long time, then the fledgling internet, the pre-web internet, and then of course the web. And that has just snowballed to every time I found out something that I thought was really extraordinarily cool, trying to share it with my colleagues in the law. The challenge of technology, the reluctance of lawyers to embrace technology, that means they're always looking for some quicker way, some quicker answer, and hopefully I've been there to be able to give them that kind of information. They can't go back to school to learn computer science or information technology, so hopefully by speaking lawyer, by understanding what they need, having worked so many years in the trenches as a trial lawyer, I can sort of cut to the chase in terms of the essential technologies they need to understand. At least that is my hope and effort. Some of the magic we could do with forensics in the old days has gone away by virtue of the advent of full disk encryption and solid state media. But for everything we've lost in forensics in the old look at the physical media approach, we've gained in the plethora of new metadata, new logging, new transactional recordings that we can look at to reconstruct in enormous detail the actions of people. In many ways, each of us today is as instrumented as the Apollo crew when they went to the moon. And instead of just checking our vital signs, the devices we carry today instrument what we're interested in, what we do, what we purchase, where we go. And I think that that is going to prove to be the most extraordinary development in the law. Having the ability to know from an unbiased, trustworthy, ever-vigilant electronic witness where people were, what they did, who they were with, is going to revolutionize the proof of certain challenging issues that we face in litigation today. In the context of civil discovery, where you're working within the framework of what is allowable, accessible, reasonably accessible, where you have the obligation placed on the producing party who is in possession of the credentials to access this information, the answer is essentially no. It's all fair game if it is relevant, if it is proportional to the needs of the case, and it is not privileged, it's fair game for discovery. And again, we are not trying to hack into people's data here. We're using the framework of the rules of civil discovery in order to exercise our right to force an opponent to go to what they can access, whether it be a practical right of access or a mere legal right of access. They have to go to what they have available to them, whether it's local to them in their immediate custody or available to them via credentials on the cloud. It's their job, and more importantly, their lawyer's obligation to ensure that that information is considered, assessed, and where responsive and not privileged, it's produced.